So here's our little victim right here. And it's a really nice piece. Fender did okay. We love Fender. We're gonna do a little better. So there's a mechanical problem with this instrument in that the string hole itself is lower than the back of the saddle here. So as the string comes through, it's actually going to pick up on the back of the saddle, and then it's going to come up through the saddle, and it's going to push down through the saddle. So it creates a sort of weird wavy tension wave in there, and it's also definitely touching the backs of the saddles. So we want to change this bridge. We want to go through to a ferrule bridge, and we're going to do that by doing a through hole sort of thing. We have the original bridge on here. You see it lines up very nicely. But what we also have here is an all brass Gotoh, which is very, very slightly different, as we're going to see in the next few minutes here. But we're going to remove the stock bridge, and we're going to keep on moving along with that. So you can see that they're very, very similar. This one obviously has the through holes for the screws, or for the strings. This one does not. It's got those back ones and accompanying sort of setups there. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to see, and unfortunately, as I suspected, we've got some window there. Now the back three are perfect. Let's see if I can get that lined up. The back three are perfect. They will dowel right through. But the front two are not. They are windowed. So let's bring the guitar body back here. Bring that bridge up here. And we're just going to line that up loosely. And you'll see that whereas it lines up very nicely in the back three holes, you see nothing. You see a moon, and you see a moon. Now, this bridge is not going to anchor the strings. So in theory, those three would work fine. But because we want to have a little bit of fun and we want to do some stuff, we're going to dowel this guitar, and we're going to do all of this the right way. So we're going to disassemble it the rest of the way. So enjoy some music while I disassemble this guitar. So I forgot to show these earlier. These are the ferrules that we're going to put in the back. Fairly simple. We'll make a little tool, or we'll find a little fashion something to drive these in with. We're going to try and drive these in with the drill press, arbor press style thing. We'll see when we get to those. This is back end of the project stuff. So the first thing I want to do is I want to try and get any sort of sense of how deep those are. That's obviously not going to work. So we'll go with this Allen wrench. They're pretty deep, right? Pretty deep. I want to clean those holes up. I don't care if they're clean all the way down because I'm going to use a little bit of a tapered pin. I'm going to use a bamboo skewer. That's what I got right now. So I'm pretty sure this is pretty much basswood. So yeah, whatever. So what are we going to do? We're going to get this depth, okay? And we're going to transfer that back to our drill bit. Right? And I'm going to tape a little tiny piece of tape. And we're going to be conservative about it because the drill will carry the tape in no problem. It's more than anything, it's a reminder. So we're going to do these two holes. We're going to let the holes that are already there guide the drill. And we're just going to go slow. This is the babiest little drill ever. I found it in the return sections at Home Depot, and I hope someday you're as lucky as I was. I believe it was about $12. Wonderful. Check those again. Turns out I didn't go through the body. Must be my lucky day. We've got some plugs, and we're just going to nip off the ends of those just to be cool, just so we get a little bit more plug of a plug. Snip, snip. No big whoop. We know these don't need to be a foot long, so we'll get that out of the way. We got some little plugs, and they fit fairly nicely after the clearancing. They're going to be fine. Those seem like those are workable. All right, so we're gonna come back in here with some clippers and just snip them off flush. As flush as we can get. We're gonna hide this under the bridge, but don't gouge your pliers into them or nothing. So I make up this dopey little tool. It's literally a nail file, and I'm gonna make it into a 1/4 inch long file that I can smash on the guitar all day long everywhere else, and nobody cares because it's covered in tape. And then I'm just going to come back here and get the tape. Now that we've got the glue up done, push it down, get the tape in there, and then have at it. You could use a power tool if you want for this. You could do a better job of trimming it too. I'm about halfway done on this one already though. When I start hitting the tape, I'll know that I'm starting to level down to the body. If I sand through the tape, then I know I'm getting really, really way too far with the job.
we're not hanging up anywhere there. So I'd like to say that that's successfully doweled. You can feel it, but it's not going to do anything. That's doweled. Let's get a close-up. So that's easy enough to do in your home shop. This is my living room, so yeah, I'm not going to go any further with that. That's good. Okay, so there is actually a tool for this. It's called a transfer punch, but we're going to try and do this without a transfer punch. I have this fat punch, which I believe is from Harbor Freight or analogous, and it wants to center. If you have a transfer punch, now's a great time to use a transfer punch. I don't have a transfer punch here. Also, this video is intended for folks at home. So we're gonna just line this up. Just give it a couple taps at first, so you can see where you're at. This thing's lining right up. Just get it level. Yeah, this body is very, 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 very soft. I didn't think it would tink that hard. All right, so out to the drill press we go. Again, we'll want to just check the work spacing. Give it a flip-a-doodle, see where it lands. Looks good. We're in about the same spot, but it's not exact. Oh, she's so soft. So soft. I'm also about to run out of travel with the camera there, so we'll meet you back in the living room. So I'm guessing the center screw is the most reliable screw on the guitar, so we're going to start there. I know these two are factory, so we'll proceed to those, but I know that this one doesn't look like it was drilled straight. So we'll actually give a little more anchor there, and then we'll see where this pulls us. Our holes still look very serviceable, so just straight on, really. We're going to use the fender holes again. And it's a little heavier of a cut because we're going into fresh wood, and I was conservative at the bottom with the plunge. So there's a couple different ways we could go about this. We could go the old cowboy way, mark it with a felt tip marker, and pen it in. We could drill straight through, which would be super cowboy mode. We'll do something in the middle, just a little bit more sensitive than that. So what I've found is not ideal. This is a 3mm punch. And I could chuck it in something and I could sharpen a point to it, but I'm not going to bother to do that. It's going to fit in these holes very well. 1/8 does not fit. I suspect that this is a metric measured bridge, but it's no big deal. This will be more than close enough, and the drill press is going to get it straight for us, so that's going to take care of that. Nice and straight. Take your time. And you'll feel the body give way. You'll feel the drift move a little bit. The punch move, rather. It's not a drift, it's a punch. A little shaky. Alrighty. So we've got those wumped. We're going to pop the bridge real quick here, and we're going to look for our spots. Hot. All right, back out to the press. We're going to use a 1/8 bit, which is actually this guy right here, so we'll take its flag off. We've used that transfer measurement already. For the most part, this is going to be a pleasure cruise. But I know for a fact that we're going to get to this hole right here, and it's not going to work out for us anymore. So we're going to have to resort to some trickery. But we'll get there when we get there. I've got a burn board under this, which is nice and flat. It's a piece of old plexiglass. What I'm looking for is I'm looking for the eyebrow to go away. fairly evenly and leave that divot. I'm okay with that. We're going to try not to burst through the back of this too hard. All right, so what do we do about this hole? We can't get it in the drill press. Well, we're going to do it the same way that we do the entire job if we didn't have any other way to do the entire job. And that is we're going to use a block. And we already have all of these other holes, but what we need to do is we need to get something square for the other one. We're going to start with this block of wood. And this block of wood's got a hole in it that I made on the drill press. It's pretty square. So if you can get something that's square, you can start this job. So all we need to do is drop that right in the hole, which is easier said than done when you can't see it, and square that thing up. Square it up pretty good. Check your job, square it up. Looks like it's almost exactly where it needs to be. 2 holes, flip the square over. You got another one, that side. That's gonna give you a deeper square. You already have the body fairly square because you started the hole. Just came through. Those look pretty ugly. Let's start chamfering those out. We're gonna need a pretty big bit. Let's have a quick look at our fit. We have our base plate here. We're gonna line it back up. Everything looks beautiful. It looks like a factory did this. You can do this at your house too. We're gonna have to install the ferrules on the back here. These stainless steel ferrules are a press fit, and I've been a little bit concerned that I don't have a tool to install them. StewMac, of course, sells one, but that's because StewMac sells pretty much a tool for everything. So I'm going to go out in the garage and see if I can find something that suffices. Maybe I can come up with a suggestion for you guys at home too. Nice little parts, nice and heavy, nicely plated. They are 308 across, 306 across. So if I can find something close to 300 thousandths, I'll be happy. But I'll be happier at 305, and I'll just put them in with a dollop of super glue. Oh, we're back out here. So the only thing I found is this weird countersink, but just get the job done. Self-centers, nothing wrong with that. Unless you're in a bad relationship. So we know that this is the one that it's not going to be able to get. We already know that. Woohoo! A little rock and roll. That looks nice. I like that tool. Done. I'll have something like this, which is not factory perfect, but it's dang close. Focus, you. StewMac sells a really nice insertion tool for doing this. I don't have it. It's 20 bucks. What I do have is a drill bit that fits very tightly. Focus, please. Thank you. It fits really nicely. And if you mess around with the drill bit long enough, you can get it with a minimal amount of run out. And that's what we're going to attempt to do. So off we go. So what we're going to do, we're going to insert this guy and get it looking good. It's not going to be perfect. And there's a little chamfer here, so we'll get it close. We're going to use some ample patience here. And I'm not going to use glue. I thought I was going to use glue, but I like the way that it fits without it. And I'm just gonna ever so gently. Oh, she's going in like it was like factory. What? Beautiful. All right, well, the body's doweled. It's ferruled. I'm not that proud of the ferruling job, but it's there. So there's very little left to do here, except start to reassemble it. We're gonna have the pick guard off this instrument in a few more days. We'll do some more fun stuff underneath it. But for now, I'm just gonna go for a nice reassembly here.